I was
heck
going to
of a
say, I think we
time.
lost it again.
Yep, and it just reconnected. I'm gonna have to reboot that computer, I think. Sorry guys, this I think we're having some issues with our computer, which is why we're really glitchy. It's kind of taking up a lot of resources here. So we're probably not going to stay live much longer, but we'll come back once we get everything reset and stuff. This just to try to get rid of this glitchiness. Anything you want to touch base on, Andrew, before we before we end this live stream and try and do a computer reboot, because it seems like this computer is kind of struggling right now.
I was going to say, yeah, I think we lost it on YouTube. We're lost on YouTube. And
So we're having just some stream issues here.
it will happen. First try trying to test everything out.
Trying to do a lot going on at the same time. So I should probably pull. Anything you want to do on WSV3?
I was going to say, did you want, could bring up satellite there for a minute?
Go for it.
Let me see, I have to look over just to see if there's any clear enough cloud cover to ourselves. So bear with me for a second. Where is it? Well, there's a lot of cloud cover, but there's starting to get some clear in south of the Cleveland area right now. So if that cloud cover, if that little bit of clearing can start pushing its way towards us, then maybe we can get some instability.
Yeah, back up a little bit so I can see you. I know a lot's kind of in the way here, but you can see actually behind Andrew. Here's the cloud cover, satellite imagery. You can see that there's already starting to be some breaks here.
And that's probably where the end of, I'll also bring up radar here. That's probably where the end of this round of rain. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's where the. Yeah,
I'm also standing next to your screen here.
So you can see it looks like this is the end of this batch of rain coming through right now, and that's why you start to see that break in the cloud cover there before the next batch comes through later this afternoon and evening, before that cold front comes. So if that clearing can work its way this way, then we might get a little instability to build before the sun goes down and the cold front comes through.
Right. And kind of just show down here a little bit. We're actually starting, Andrew's in the way again. You can start to see some storms actually starting to fire along this line right here. If you see it come into the loop here. So like this one right here, that's something that's going to bear some watching. You can see it starts way down there, comes up, and it's actually growing in intensity. So we'll try and keep a lookout there. But as Andrew said, you can see kind of this gap in the radar over here, or all this rain coverage, and then you can see those clearing spots in the clouds. So that's going to start leading to some destabilization.
So let's see if I can.
I know the mouse is sensitive in all other ways except the scroll.
Let me turn this off and see if you can find where the cold front is here. That's what I like about WSV.
Yeah, Andrew likes to play the guess where the cold front is game.
So it looks like did I turn off the cloud cover?
Oh, that's a great.
There's our cold front still back, just pushing through Chicago there.
Andrew's in the way again. Really got to get used to this green screen. It's been a few years.
So yes, there's the cold front back. It looks like it just pushed through Chicago. So that cold front's gonna be pushing through later on tonight. But you can see the temperature difference too. We're in the 50s and 60s ahead of it, and I think it's back in the 30s back in Chicago. So that tells you where we're going to tomorrow and how strong this cold front is when we go from the 60s today to 30s tomorrow. The good thing is, compared to a couple of days ago, there's not going to be a lot of leftover moisture behind this front, so I don't think we're going to see much in the way of snow compared to what we were thinking the other day. Maybe an inch or two as the cold front pushes through and gets colder overnight, but doesn't look like there's going to be much of a lake effect setup just because there's no moisture left for it to work with.
Right.
I just like how you can see that cold front just pushing through.
Heck, you don't even need the line showing the cold front. You can just see where the temperatures are dropping. So I know we had a viewer, I think, ask, like, are we going to get lake effect since, the lake's on, it's pretty much completely unfrozen at this point.
I mean, I think it's down 50% like we were.
Oh, is it still up that high?
I thought when I last looked,
I thought it was
50%.
way lower. I mean, I know like Chautauqua Lake and all that's all completely thawed out. So
We're going to be we're going to go to 30s tomorrow. I think back to the 40s on Friday. Saturday cools down. Sunday we're back in the 50s, and then another cold front comes through Sunday. We're back into the 30s early next week. Welcome to March when we're on the roller coaster. And then, so I think when I look, we're 20s and 30s early next week, and then we're climb back up into the 40s by the end of next week. So hopefully you like a weather roller coaster because we're going to be on one. But right now, it doesn't look like there's any major snowstorms. One, I don't think it's going to get cold enough. And two, there's not a lot of moisture, at least over the weekend, for snow to develop or any lake effect. Maybe an inch or two tonight, like I said, as the cold front moves through, but doesn't look like much of a lake effect set up for tomorrow.
Right. Yeah, and I know some viewers were like, well, with the lake thawing out and these winds and stuff, are we going to get lake effect? We're coming into the wrong time of season for lake effect.
Got the higher sun angle.
The higher sun angle,
that works in our favor, or guys got we like the snow.
Right.
That works in favor of the snow not being able to accumulate as much on the ground because of the warmer temperatures, especially on pavement.
And I was going to say, not just that, but the grounds had a really good chance to thaw out too, quite a bit, higher sun angle, warmer temperatures, stuff like that.
Let me tell you, Chautauqua Lake is not frozen anymore.
No.
I was just there yesterday, and Chautauqua Lake is completely unfrozen now.
Yep. And obviously Lake Erie's following suit too. So, a lot of cool things to look at.
I could honestly watch this all day. The cold front
just push through.
My favorite game is where's the cold front?
Yep. So, yeah.
Let me actually switch spots.
I was going to say, we'll go back to switching spots the way we were. We'll take a look at some other things now that the stream seems to have settled out a little bit.
Somebody just commented, any tornadoes coming to Western New York?
So looking at our comments, Katie Lynn comes on and says, any tornadoes coming to Western New York? So as we touched earlier, actually, I'll pull it back up here real quick. So we'll shut that off. Shut the USB. We'll put... Where's the browser? There it is. All right. So try this again. Oop. Now I'm opening stuff I don't want opened. We'll go back to the convection outlook here real quick. Let me switch you guys over to that. You guys can not see what's going on. There you go. So just to touch back onto the tornado threat that's going on today, this is the current SPC outlook. Whoa, kind of lost my balance there. You can see, I'm going to scoop past your head here. There we go. So this green shaded area that you can see Western New York and some part of Central New York, but really goes all the way down to the Gulf here. This green shaded area is a 2% risk for tornadoes today. Now, a lot of people will say 2%, that's next to nothing. We've seen tornadoes with no tornado threat, correct?
Yeah, it was Saturday when there was just a marginal risk for southern Michigan, and they ended up with an EF2 and an EF3 tornado. I think the EF2 was in Three Rivers, Michigan, and then the EF3 was another city in Michigan. It took like 6 lives and injured 12 people.
Right.
And that was a marginal risk and the Three Rivers tornado wasn't issued as a tornado warning until a spotter on the ground saw it on the ground.
Right. Yep. And that's happened several times. I mean, I know me and Jackson chased that one out in Arkwright. I think we were under a 2% then too, or was there? I think it was a 2%. But same thing, we were on that storm and watched a tornado touch down, and there was no. They actually canceled the tornado warning while we were watching it on the ground, and we called National Weather, and we're like, no, you need to reissue that because we're looking dead at it. So. Just goes to show the importance of storm spotters and chasers. We're kind of the National Weather Service's eyes and ears out in the field. But just going back to the graphic here, the green is the 2% area. So you can see in New York and northern Pennsylvania, we're just under a 2%. This brown area here is a 5%, so it's a more increased risk for tornadoes. And then you could also see these hash marks across some of the green and brown. Usually the brown, you're always going to see these hash marks. This is a new product. It's an intensity product that came out from the Storm Prediction Center this year. But what these hash marks are is you can see here the different color codes. I think the highest, we've seen a 30, or I've seen a 45 before. I've never seen a 60% chance of tornado. obviously not around here, it's out in the Midwest. But you can see that this new intensity, these hash marks labeled 1, 2, and 3. So these hash marks you're seeing here, what that means on the intensity that they just released this year is they're only forecasting that if a tornado were to touch down in this hash marked area, they're only expecting it to be EF1 or EF2? Okay, so, and then obviously the higher EF ratings that they think that a tornado could be, the higher they'll go on these hash marks. So just to answer your question, I forgot her name already. Katie, if you reside in New York or the northern part of Pennsylvania here, anywhere in the green areas, that's a 2% risk of tornado happening within a 25-mile radius anywhere in that area. And then obviously these brown shaded areas with the hash marks, and again, you can see these hash marks extend out of the brown area. So even in a 2%, they're saying, hey, if a tornado were to touch down here, we expect it to be either an EF1 or an EF2.
You bring up the wind threat too?
Yeah, and I can bring up the wind threat.
I think that's the greater threat too.
Because, yeah, and Andrew brings up a good point. Well, I'll bring up a wind threat right
I guess we
here.
just like talking about tornadoes.
Yeah, I do like talking about tornadoes. I was itching for one Saturday and didn't get one. But anyways, go ahead, Andrew. You can touch base on the wind threat.
So yeah, here's the wind threat, which we're under like a 5% chance for wind. So again, that just means there's a 5% chance within 25 miles of any location. I've seen damaging wind gusts over 58 miles per hour. Then you get down towards the southern Ohio, southern Pennsylvania area, in northern West Virginia, and they're under a 30% chance of damaging winds, which basically means that there's a 25% chance of seeing damaging winds within, or I should say 30% chance of seeing damaging winds within 25 miles of any location. And I can also show you the hail risk, which isn't as great. So the main threat for today for us will be the wind threat, and then there's a smaller risk for tornadoes, and then we're basically not under a hail risk at all. There's a small 5% hail risk for northern Pennsylvania, but it just includes a small sliver Western New York, which I would say is I-86 southward in Chautauqua County for the hail risk. But the greatest threat today will come from winds, and then there's small risk for tornadoes, and then that's going to count hail risk. I don't think we even saw any hail Saturday when we were under like a 5% hail risk.
Nope. And I obviously chased out into Ohio and the western parts of Pennsylvania and didn't see anything either.
Speaking of hail, when those storms that went through Illinois yesterday, I believe I saw that Illinois set a state record for the largest hailstone, which measured like 5.5 inches in diameter. It was
literally that big. It was crazy.
Almost the size of a football. It was in close. And that kind of hail, that will, even you get into like 3-inch hail, that will do damage to your cars. That will put holes in your roof too. Yeah. And they saw some significant hail yesterday, 5.5 inches. Those are some big hailstones.
And I was gonna say, sorry, my mic was muted. I was gonna say, I was watching a lot of chasers last night, and a lot of them ended up going out of service because they lost their windshields.
Was it Brandon Kopic?
Brandon Kopic, or Kopic being one of them.
I think he lost. He tried not. When you're going into chasing storms, your goal is not to go through the hail core, and sometimes you just end up in the hail core. Just ask Reed Timmer how many times he's gone, how many cars he's gone through, and how many windshields he's lost.
His little Subaru Forester.
Like, I don't know if him, but there's some storm chasers that like can't rent cars anymore.
He's one of them. He's blacklisted.
Because they just damage the cars too much with the hail. And even if they don't try, somebody can just end up in the hail core.
Yep. And again, just to kind of touch base here, you can see that target area. This is exactly where I was talking about, that Pennsylvania, Ohio, Western Virginia area. That would be the area I chased today, but it's an absolutely horrible area to chase. Your mountains, valleys, trees, very, very rough terrain to deal with when you're out storm chasing. Let's take another gander here at radar real quick and just kind of see what we're dealing with, make sure we don't have. Katie, I hope that answered your question as far as the tornadoes coming through. So we'll just take a gander here at radar again, just kind of see what's going on. Oh, we're actually starting to see some reports coming in. So obviously we just got a little bit, I believe that's just rain. someone reported. Let me make sure that's not hail or sleet or, yeah, that's just rain. But you can actually see we're starting to, so all these little circles that you're seeing that have a little yellow highlight around them, those are called MPing reports. And actually MPing is for any member of the public. You could actually send a report off to the MPing network, which National Weather Service does use, and then we'll start seeing them pop up here on radar. So if you do have MPing or even use RadarScope, you can submit MPing reports straight through RadarScope. We're starting to lag again, I'm seeing too. But these red circles you're seeing here, these are actually spotter network or straight from the National Weather Service reports. And as we click on them, so we'll pull up this wind report. This is actually coming off that severe thunderstorm that just that we were talking about earlier.
Which I do have an update on.
You do? Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to that here in a second. But you can see that the source was an ASOS at 1227, and they measured 60-mile-an-hour winds. So that's likely why we're seeing these severe thunderstorm warnings and stuff pop up here as well. Oh, it looks like we've got a. Is this what you're talking about?
No, but that.
We'll touch on that after. But go ahead with what you're.
I was going to say the National Weather Service in Cleveland is just going to continue that severe thunderstorm warning for Erie and Crawford. It's hard. Erie and Crawford County until 1:30 p.m. At 1:09 p.m., a severe thunderstorm was located at a line extending from 8 miles west of Girard to near Northwest Harbor Creek to near Columbus, moving northeast at 70 miles per hour, still for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So that's going to go until 1:30 p.m. I wanted to see, because I think that's a mesoscale discussion they just came out with.
So just touching on, that was the extension of the severe thunderstorm, but another thing that just popped up here is a new mesoscale discussion. You want to touch on this or you want me to?
You can, well, I was trying to see it on here, but it hasn't popped up on my computer.
Well, go ahead. You can look at that, and I'll just go through this. So this is a new mesoscale precip discussion. This is talking about the heavy rainfall, which we are getting. It's been downpouring here at the office.
That's not from the Storm Prediction Center. That's from the Weather Prediction
Center.
Center.
Weather Prediction Center.
That's
yeah.
why I couldn't find it.
Yep. So you can see a broken cluster of locally heavy showers and thunderstorms will continue through the afternoon hours. Locally high rainfall rates, moistening, I'm not even going to pronounce that, conditions, and some cell training concerns will maintain a threat for additional runoff problems, including isolated to scattered areas of flooding. I'll leave this up so if you guys want to read the discussion for the more weather nerdier people that can understand a lot of this as far as destabilizations and the MU Cape, stuff like that. I'll leave that up. And that's kind of what we were talking about this morning as far as the relentless clearing. We're not getting any clearing, just getting a bunch of rain, clouds, stuff like that. And they're obviously seeing it and put out a precipitation discussion out for that as well. Seeing anything else?
No. So I think I mentioned it this morning. So there's just with all this rain, there's a chance for some flash flooding. That and what's left of any snow melt, which I think most of it's gone, except for the huge big piles you see. And there could be some flash flooding in areas. And this is why we're thinking we're not going to see much of a severe threat, because it's just been raining all day and we're already 1 o'clock right now. It depends again how much of that clearing we can get after this batch moves through.
Right. Now, they were talking about training in that precip, and that's kind of what we've been seeing. What we should have started seeing was clearing, I believe around 10 o'clock or so. We should have started heading into clearing, but these storms are training. And what that means is that consider it almost like a back build. So actually, let me try to automate this and see if it kind of shows it a little bit. So we're not getting much training right now, but earlier this morning, we'd see like a storm over Jamestown or over our location, which we're about here. We'd see a storm and then there's some clearing behind it, but then something else would blossom, come over us, see clearing again, another storm would blossom, come over us. That's what training is it just constantly keeps rebuilding and training over the same areas, and that's what's starting to lead to this precipitation discussion. One thing I think I want to try to pull out is maybe WSV3 again. I want to see what's coming behind this line
I
here.
was about to say, I'm looking at it on my computer. There's a lot more clearer now in the
Is there? So
Cleveland area now.
let me pop WSB3 back up for you guys, or not WSB3, or yeah, WSB3. And go ahead. You'll Andrew's the WSB3 guy. So what we're going to pull up, or what Andrew's working on pulling up, is back on that satellite view again to see if we can see what clearing's coming behind this. Because on radar, it's looking like there might be.
I say there's some decent pockets. If you can even pause this here for a minute, we can see the. You can see the pockets of Cleveland, or
Oh yeah,
pockets of clearing, not there south of Cleveland, and then you can see the back edge of the rain now moving through Crawford and Erie County there.
Yep. So again, just looking at the pockets, you know, you're starting to see a little bit of Cleveland over here, just north of I-80. It looks like you're getting a big pocket of clearing here through Mansfield, in going right through I-71. But you're also starting to see this is all the way down to Cincinnati here, all the way up past Columbus, up into Pittsburgh is already starting to get on into the leading edge of it here. You're actually right here, I think was that cell I was watching that I said I wanted to keep an eye on. But it looks like we're starting to get, looks like 1, 2, these two will probably conjoin.
If there's any warnings on any of that down there?
Oh yeah, he'll pull up any warnings if there's any severe thunderstorm or tornado warnings as well.
That's still the severe thunderstorm warning.
So the severe thunderstorm warning that they just extended is still right here.
These south down here are tornado warned.
They are?
Yeah, they are tornado warned.
Look at that. I'm not even.
Let me zoom in.
Yeah, so we'll go into a little bit of a breaking alert here.
Whoops, what did I do? I'm going to try to pull up Pittsburgh radar. I think that's closest to Pittsburgh there. That's mottos, I mean.
Does it have to down? You're still on satellite.
Bear with us here. We're still working there.
Like I said, it's only the two of us. Our next guy actually just texted me, Jackson. He's actually on his way right now. So, like I said, we're going to touch base on these tornado warnings that just came up. We're probably going to jump off stream because Jackson will be arriving. He's really our main audio visual guy. We're going to get this computer rebooted because I can still see that the live stream is very glitchy. So we're going to get everything kind of rebooted and get him in here. And we'll probably go live again as things really start ramping up here. And we're already seeing a couple tornado warnings popping up here. There we go.
I had to wait for it to.
So like I said, that storm that I told you guys I was watching is this one right here. And we did end up just going tornado warned on that right now. So you're actually starting to see that little bit of a hook right here. When we talk about a hook echo, you can kind of see that storm. If you want to pull up velocity on that too. So yeah, we're getting, can you do, is that regular velocity or is that storm motion velocity? Oh, it's not.
Might be better to bring that up. I like looking at velocity better on
radar scope.
Radar scope.
Yeah, here, let me pull that up. So we'll bop you guys over to radar scope. Yeah, we really need to end this stream and just start it over. We'll get you guys a look at these tornado warnings. Pull up Pittsburgh. Two of them. Oh, I should probably switch OBS over, shouldn't I? Transition. All right, there we go. Over to radar scope. So we've got two tornado warnings. That other one up here is actually really messy. So there's one here, and then we've got one down here. This one, I'm very interested in this. Oh, you're doing a dual screen.
Yeah.
It may not work well because I've got it trimmed.
Yeah, there's something on that storm there. That's not a bad looking couplet there.
Yeah, so I'll go. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's actually a very...
That is not a bad looking couplet there.
That's a beautiful couplet, and you can see it's got a perfect bullseye right on it too. Wouldn't be surprised. Is this radar confirmed?
Yeah, I think it said radar confirmed. I'll even.
Oh, there's another one. Oh wait, no, it's the same one. Yeah, it's radar confirmed. 1-inch hail. So just kind of going through this here, you can see tornado warning expires in 22 minutes. Less than 1-inch size hail. It's radar indicated right now. Again, this is a very horrible spot to. Yep, Jackson just sent me it as well. This is a very horrible spot to chase in. So this could be why it's only radar indicated right now. I don't have spotter dots up here. I'll put spotter dots on when we restart the stream. Just curious to see if there's actually any storm chasers down here. You actually getting, you seeing that? You might be getting a little bit of a handoff here.
Yeah, yeah.
You got another velocity signature coming
Just right
in.
behind it. There.
Yeah, right behind it. So wouldn't be surprised if this is actually a tornado on the ground. Of course, there's probably no chasers in the area right now because it is a very horrible area to chase. So you can see. Trying to get rid of some of these boxes here. We're kind of watching two parts of this storm. So me and Andrew were actually just talking about it. You can see, there you go. There's actually two velocity signatures. So the main tornado warning part is on this part right here, but we're watching back here just a little bit. And then switching over sides here, this is the reflectivity. So I've got reflectivity over here, velocity behind me. But this is what it looks like on radar. So the main concern or the main tornado warning is right there. That's where this couplet right here is. And then this other couplet that's just to the south west of it, you can see is actually right on the tail end right here. So I'm curious to see if it's transitioning or doing like a handoff.
Did you want to explain like how we can determine from velocity if a tornado is there?
Yeah, so correlation coefficient is what we use. It's a product that's in, and it's very confusing and hard to read. This is actually what we look at when we're looking to try and radar confirm a tornado, which we can do.
Besides velocity.
Right. Velocity, if you get a strong enough couplet, I believe they'll radar confirm that if it's strong enough, which that's not exactly strong enough, but it's getting there. But another thing we look at, which is right here, is correlation coefficient. And what this does is show us debris that's actually being lifted up into the air from a tornado that's on the ground, and radar can pick that up.
So I was going to say, it essentially measures what's in the atmosphere and see if it correlates. So if there's something in the atmosphere that shouldn't be there,
Correct.
Say like I was going to use an example they taught me when I was doing like a cow or something in the air.
Yeah.
It'll tell you that's not supposed to be there, and then you'll see that it's spike on the correlation coefficient, letting you know there's something there. With velocity, we're looking at like the green is.
People don't know who's talking.
With green, you're looking. The green is the winds. Green's the inbound winds. Those are the winds coming towards the radar. The red is the winds going away from the radar. Where those two meet up is a good indication there's rotation in the upper atmosphere. So besides looking at reflectivity, we're looking at velocity, which is the couplet. Again, green going towards the radar, red going away from the radar. Again, those two meet is rotation. And then, as I said, when we look at a correlation coefficient, we're just looking to see is everything uniform up in upper atmosphere. Did you lose the?
No, I keep talking as I walk away. I'm talking, keep forgetting that my microphone's on. And I just said, a word about the rain that's kind of pouring in here. But yeah, I'm looking at the oh, they just expanded this. They just changed it. Looking at the correlation coefficient, I'm not really seeing anything. I'm not seeing a spike on it. There might be something in here, but I'm not really seeing anything that would tell or make me say, hey, yeah, this is definitely on the ground. All right. This stream's practically going useless. All right, guys, so we're gonna sign off for right now. As you guys can see, the stream is crap, it's glitchy. But give us a little bit of time. Jackson is actually on his way here. He should be arriving any minute. We're gonna do a quick reset of the system, kind of bring things back up, and we'll go live again. And things are already starting to heat up because on the side of me, this side, we've already got tornado warnings. And those are going to continue popping up as this storm starts progressing east. And then obviously we're going to take a look at this on some other software and just see what's going on. And then obviously we'll talk about anything that's coming our way. But for now, I'm Mitch Bellinger, Western New York Storm Chasers, founder, lead storm